TTC, I'm Dolphignition. Hashtag bad guys forever. Hashtag Fin Squad. Hashtag Fins up. And finally, hashtag pray for next year, because it's over this year. There's way too many circumstances on our plate that have to happen in order for us to make the playoffs. But the number one thing is making sure we get a win this Sunday at our house against the Jags, and then a win at Buffalo. Even with that happening, the Patriots, the Colts, and the Titans would have to lose the next 2 games, and the Raven would only have to lose 1 game. I was regularly going to make a hate week against the Jaguars, and in that hate week, I'd call out not only Tekken is my world and Jagging Off, but also this guy named Tealtown, a username I got into a battle with while watching TD Fins Talk's live stream about Ross cleaning house. However, 4 things chose me to decide not to do so, which is sad because if not for the sake of making the playoffs, at least for the sake for the crown of Florida football, because this game would break the tie between the history of the Dolphins and the Jaguars, as both these teams scored 4 wins against each other, and would also break the tie winning at our house, because Jax and us got a win against each other in Miami Gardens. So just making this hate week, I'd have everything to lose more than just the playoffs. So there's reason number 1. Reason number 2. I have family coming over on the 21st, which is before Sunday. So I'd have to limit my mouth in the TTC, and that ain't happening. Reason number 3. Making a hate week against a team that also has that is 4-10. That also, and so they have the option to tank. So they can either tank for the sake of getting an earlier pick, or they could play their hardest for the sake of leading this rivalry. But nonetheless, if I wanted to make a fool of myself, flexing against a 4-10 team is not my way to go. And finally, reason number 4. We played like absolute shit at Minnesota. For the sixth straight away game in a row, we've lost. As I've said in my live stream before, we played absolutely horrendous in the first quarter. Who the fuck allows a team to score 21 points just like that in the first quarter? Certainly not a playoff team. Then in the middle, we started gaining momentum, all until we choke in the latest in the third quarter, and then continually going back to where we were at the start of the game. It's like they trolled me and played with my soul thinking they were going to surprise the Skull fans, but nope! After a score of 21-7, while we scored absolutely nothing, they scored 20 more points. These next 2 games are going to determine whether I want to hop off the Tannehill bandwagon or not. Because though Tannehill is somewhat to blame for this loss, this horrendous O-line, and of course, these penalty traps we once again fall in costs us big time. Though I would like to argue that during my stream, I rightfully raged at the referee on my screen because there was one flag we got from the first quarter that I thought was uncalled for. I forgot what it was now. I've tried re-looking back at it online. I don't know what it is, but if you remember that yellow flag, let me know in the comment section below the reason. But the ultimate thing that pisses me off even more than that is Ederson Griffin, returning player, made a hard tackle that should have given Minnesota a 15-yard penalty in the fourth quarter. We have gotten a fuck ton of flags against us, and they didn't even bother nor care about that one flag Ederson got? I tell you, it's games like that that really make you lose your mind. I don't know who the lead referee is in that game, but I hope we don't ever get that old bastard again. But back to Tannehill. TD Finstock has a point. Tannehill is not the worst quarterback we've ever had. Give that man a good defensive O-line, and he can make magic happen. But he needs to improve on his bullet passes. I have seen them fail way more than they work. He also needs to scan more quickly, because though I give him respect for gambling his time, hence trusting in this squadron we call the O-line, I've seen him getting sacked a lot this season. As I said, though, these next two games are going to determine my opinion on Tannehill. But if we trade him away, I'm not going to shed a tear. This guy has played with us for 7 years. 7 years. And the closest we got with him was a wild card, only to get shut down by Pittsburgh, the team that season that started our winning streak in that regular season that I have never seen for years. As far as our season goes, I'm pessimistic. I'm a diehard Dolph fan, and even I have to admit, we're just not playoff material, and I think I'm giving up. I've already given up this season after we lost to Indianapolis. We've only won one away game, so even if we did make it to the playoffs, it'll be another year where we're a laughingstock. In fact, us making it to the playoffs would be an even bigger miracle than that win against the Pats. And I would even take that as our victory. So yeah. The other reason is this. Let's give up this season and focus on next season. Because that season, the Super Bowl comes down here at the Hard Rock Stadium. So hopefully this organization will snap out of it, and we'll get it done this next season. And if we do make it to the playoffs, I'd like a fucking win, because I am sick and tired of always being teased this one question. When did the Dolphins last score a playoff win? It was against Indianapolis. We won 23-20 in overtime. And that was in the year 2000. Not 2001, not 2002, 2 with 3 zeros. The Super Bowl held here in Miami will be in 2020. So Dolphins organization, we've gone for 20 years of humiliation and embarrassment long enough. Start making effective changes. Por favor. Moving on to a more happier note, an announcement. And within this announcement, I'd like to give 4 shout-outs. Christian El Feliciano, Carmen Eguenoa, Vadim Whitewolf, and Joe No. Sorry about the bird. Because I have family coming over, one being my cousin, the other being my grandma, I'm afraid I have some bad news. Because of that, I won't be streaming next week's game against Jacksonville, nor the Buffalo game in week 17, because I can't afford to curse in front of my, how you put it, abuela, nor my cousin. So until then, my major shout out goes to all four of you. You four have been in both my streams, and I thank you for that. I'll do my best next year to stream all of the Miami Dolphins games. I also want to thank the two Lanes and Laura Vetch for tuning into my Minnesota stream game. But my bigger thanks goes to the four I mentioned previously. Thank you all, and hope 2019 kicks ass for you guys. I also like to give a thanks to the new people whom subscribed to me in the past 2 weeks. Though I'm not really a subscriber whore, nor do I ever want donations from everyone, I'd sooner have you keep it for your future. I'm really honored to have now 50 subscribers. Whether I can double that next year or not is up to me. So, let me wrap up this season. This season is over in my eyes. Even if we make it to the playoffs, we'd be a disaster. These last 2 games are going to determine whether I say we keep or delete Tannehill from our team, regardless of my opinion not mattering. I won't be streaming any more games, and I was going to make a hate week against Jacksonville Jaguars, but this performance, along with some other circumstances, and this performance my Dolphins delivered last Sunday was so embarrassing, I just can't. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Till then, this is Dolphignition. Fins up. I swear to God, if we lose to Jacksonville, I'm going to strangle a